Hi friends, it's Mrs. Q here to do a little cutting video. Let's practice with our scissors how to cut. Now parents and kids, I just found some scratch paper around my house, and then I used my big fat Sharpie, but you could use whatever marker, and I drew some different things. I drew just the regular lines. I also do some straight lines with stop signs so you know where to stop. For my kids who are really good at cutting, here's a long whole size paper to do the long straight line, the zigzags, and the curves. I also do like a swirly cinnamon swirl, and then I just also drew random lines, and so to cut that out I would just start at the top or start whatever. So those are some options for your beginners and for your more advanced cutters, and also how long you have to sit at the table. And so we'll start with this really easy straight line. That's the easiest way. Make sure that you have scissors that fit your hand. So use preschoolers, use the scissors that we sent home in your bags, or if you have your own set of scissors at home, ask mom or dad or whoever to help you sit at the table and do your cutting, because we only cut paper at the table. See, I'm even at the table right now. I'm at my kitchen table. So I have my scissors, and I'm going to put my thumb in the circle, and then I'm going to put my fingers in this oval shaped part, in the bigger part. Parents, a lot of times kids just grab and they're doing this, and then they don't have enough space for their fingers, and it's hard for them to really use the power in their hand. So make sure their thumb is in the circle, and that their fingers are in the other part, and that their thumb is on top. That's the easiest way to cut, friends, thumb on top. Then you take your paper, and you want to hold it in one hand, and you want to cut the lines with your scissors. Ready? Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little snip, snip, snip. Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little snip, snip, snip. Now that's the nice line that I went all the way across. See, you can kind of see the line there. But some people need to have a little practice of where to stop. So do that same song. Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little snip, snip, snip. Okay, I'm going to go right down the line to the stop sign. Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little snip. You see how I snipped right up to the stop sign. I know that's a funny looking stop sign, isn't it, friends? Open, shut them, open, shut them, give a little snip. There we go. So we have our little straight lines. Then, like I said, if your student is a really good cutter and needs a little bit of a challenge, you can have them start with the long line. I'm going to assume that you don't need to see me do that, but then when you do the zigzag, you're going to have to turn your hand. So snip, then turn, snip, turn, snip, turn, snip, turn your hand again and snip, and turn your hand and snip, and turn your hand and snip, and turn your hand and snip. There we have it. See, when I take my two pieces, they fit together kind of like a puzzle, right? When you are cutting a curvy line, you might need to turn the paper and your hand. That's hard just because I'm going around. And it's easier for me because I have really big scissors. So that if this is too frustrating, if this is too frustrating for your child, then take it back to the half sheet and do the straight line and a zigzag with only maybe one zigzag and like one curve, because it can get frustrating, and then it causes the paper to rip because they can't quite get it, and we just want to make sure kids are successful and enjoying the practice. If you haven't already been using Play-Doh, if you notice cutting is hard for them, Play-Doh is a great activity because it develops that hand strength, which they need for cutting and for writing. So even doing like pincher exercises, pinching Play-Doh, pinching bread dough, if you are making bread during this time at home, having them help you knead the bread is a great hand strengthener. Anything like you would have to squeeze, like one of those stress balls, you could have them pretend to squeeze, or not pretend, but they could actually squeeze that. There's lots of ways to build up your hand strength, so you need those for those fine motor things. So again, if your child is needing a challenge, do a curve, a swirly kind of pattern where you have to turn the paper, turn, turn, turn. And then the nice thing about this particular pattern is that if you get all the way to the middle, it makes like this kind of funny little boingy thing, which can be very funny to preschoolers. All right. And like I said, then if you need a really extreme challenge, then draw any kind of random lines, or have your student draw some lines and then try to cut that out. So again, you want to make sure that they're having a good time, but that they're getting some practice with that fine motor skill. So thanks, parents, for toughing it out and for persevering through this, because it can be frustrating for everybody. If your student is really having a hard time, start with a strip and just snip, 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 because they can all do that. So you can also, if that's too wide, start with a little strip, snip, and just have them make confetti. That's another way that you can modify that activity, just to give them that practice for the open and squeeze. Open, shut them, give a little snip, snip, snip. Okay, thank you, friends. Happy cutting at the table. Bye.